Welcome, we're back. It's 2024 and we're here with another live stream of the Hard Rock Show. I'm Andrew, and joining us tonight is Dave directly beside me, Conrad directly below me, and then Jeff in the opposite corner to me. So as you all know, we are here. We're back again. We've got a lot to get through as always. I'm trying to do things a little bit differently this time around. I'm going to try and keep us a bit more on point than we were last year. I've deliberately got some things in play to hopefully get us along the lines there as we go through things, and a special mention to the guys here behind the scenes to keep me on point as well. So there we go. We're here. We're back. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to get into starting off our Stoner Rock edition of King of the Riff, which is going to be seeing albums from Down going up against The Sword, which is going to be a lot of fun there. So we have Nola from Down and War Riders from The Sword going head to head. We're going to be doing Songs of the Week like we were before. We're going to start a new Builder collection series going into the 90s, which Dave is going to hate. But we're treating it as
maybe not.
Maybe not. I did say to you, Dave, that Poison and Cure episode's a good little inspiration piece for that there. So we'll see.
Plenty of good stuff from the 90s. It just wasn't mainstream.
Exactly, yeah. So we'll see how deep everyone's knowledge is on those things there. But like I was saying, Songs of the Week we're going to do. I'm hoping Jeff's ready to go with a guess the song moment for us here tonight. If not, I've got a backup plan, so we're good to go.
Always ready.
That's good. I figured you would be. And yeah, we'll have all the usual stuff. So get in the comments, say hi. There's reference tracks in the description for this one too, so go and check all that out. I've got people saying hi already. So Andrew's here saying hello all, welcome back. Good to see you. Good to be back. Same with Guy over in Denmark there. Good to see you again after a while. Greetings, rockers across the plane. Rowan's here too. Awesome to see you as well. And guys already going, Nola, a song called Rehab, sort of my anthem. Well, there we go. Can be for some people. And Vinny, it wouldn't be a show without Vinny, is it? Hey, welcome back and Happy New Year, gang. Hi, Undertaker.
Yes.
So that's what Jeff.
Yeah.
Edge Crusher, good to see you as well. Hey, all. So we are. Just get in the comments, say hi, give us your thoughts as we go through things. Because we do tend to waffle on, when you give us a comment, make sure you let us know what it's in reference to so we can sort of make sure the context doesn't get lost along the way. But yeah, Songs of the Week are Moth from Anna, Modern Day Madman from Santa Cruz, and Silent Winter from the End Machine as well. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. So there's a whole lot going on. Bash is here too, saying hi all. So good to see you as well, buddy. Hopefully you are keeping well. Hopefully everyone's had a good Christmas and New Year break. We are back into the swing of things full on now. Dave and I have gone through what we've got coming up this year, and it's another massive, massive year. But Dave, how you going? It's a quick little how you going?
Yeah, I'm good. COVID for Christmas, and I got drunk for New Year. How you doing, Jeff?
Hey, that's a quick short one. Yeah, same old for me. Work, sleep, eat shit, and do this on Thursdays. That's it. So how you doing, Conrad?
I'm very well. As you know, I'm in a new pad and here in London. It's been snowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, not -6 degrees here.
Oh, wow.
I've landed a radio show. I will
nice.
details of the radio show once I have something all snazzy for you to look at.
Yeah. Beautiful.
I'll post that.
Looking forward to that. Awesome. From my side of things, we dodged another cyclone, so that's all right because the last one took out our camp over Christmas. So obviously you can see behind me, it's a very different look. I'm not using the green screen at the moment. I've actually got a backdrop because we're in the house. We're not in tents anymore. So we're not, it's not finished or anything like that. We've got a long way to go yet, but it's livable and we're sort of in here and we're doing what we do from our actual base, our actual home now, which is all really cool. So we've made a lot of progress on that side of things because, we had to because the last cyclone up near New Year's just destroyed what we had. I didn't destroy everything, just took out the actual tents and whatever else. So we couldn't really keep camping in that environment. So we just moved in. So that was all right. On that note, Vinny's gone, is that your laundry behind you? No, not quite. It is a bunch of T-shirts though. So you got T-shirts behind me. Over there, you've got the old logo that used to be mounted on the wall in the original set way back. That's a blast in the past there. I did manage to bring one sort of set icon up with me on the first trip up. All the rest of the stuff's still in storage. But yeah, so that's what's going on behind me here.
It's a bit sad though. Sorry, I was just going to say, the show is no longer going to be intense.
Okay, you and Vinny, you're on fucking track for the worst jokes of the evening. I do want to quickly, on a more somber note, unfortunately, should have held off for like 5 seconds more.
Sorry.
because we obviously don't have Belle with us tonight, and that is because she had a death in the family over the Christmas period. So she's been away dealing with that, and we have all obviously behind the scenes passing our thoughts and condolences, doing it publicly here as well. She hopefully might be back next week. We'll see how we go, but we've already obviously told her to take as much time. But Belle, if you're here, if you're watching, thinking of you, hopefully everything is going as well as possibly can. And yeah, that's why you haven't seen her here tonight, but she will be back very, very soon. That is definitely on the cards. Just a matter of when the timing is right, obviously, for that sort of stuff involved. Nicole is here saying hello, hello, hello. Good to see you, Nicole, as well. Same with Michael over there. Hey, all. Good to see you too. We're getting a lot of people here. Make sure you stick around, get in the comments. Let's have some fun here tonight. And let's get stuck into it. So first song of the week is our Aussie one, obviously, as always. So I'm going to put a link in the comments shortly, but there's one in the description box already for all this sort of stuff. So Nicole quickly has gone condolences to Belle and family, and I'm sure she appreciates that. And Vinny says, actually listen to Conrad's radio show already. Those sex tips have worked a treat in the hugs and kisses. So
Yeah, busted, yeah.
Vinny's having fun. We're going to have fun. Keep moving on. Okay. Moth from the band Anna is the first song of the week we're going to go through. There's a reference track for you now. I chose it. It's been assigned to Jeff. It's from the album The Art of Letting Go, due March 29, 2024. A Melbourne band, obviously, doing this one. Dave, I know you've got some insight on this one as well. Is there anything you want to quickly say there about the band that you know of? Because you probably have more background than I do. I know that you and Nicky are all over it.
Probably not as much as you, but yeah, it's good. Thumbs up. I like it. Symphonic metal. Tori's a good guy. He's on bass, and bass. The singer has a beautiful voice. I like it.
Cool. All right. Yeah, it's just that I know Nikki has been raving about it, so she's actually sent me a little video, which I'll try and use at some point as well. But anyway, Jeff, we assigned it to you. How did you go?
Okay, I wrote a little thing, it's not much, but just a little bit, so I wouldn't forget. So this is what I wrote. Okay, so forgive me. So look, I try to listen to music now before I watch the video. I learned my lesson a long time ago, and this is a prime example of why I do that. So my first listen to the song, it was just audible, right? Just listening. And actually, I didn't think it was. I liked it. I didn't think it was breaking any ground, but I thought it was. It was symphonic metal, and what's not to love about symphonic metal, right? And so it was a similar caliber of music, and I was able to appreciate it for what it was. It hit all the marks of what it was aiming for. Then I watched the video and immediately regretted it, unfortunately. For me, it was the Bane masks on the entire band, except the vocalist. And all I could think of was Bane from the movie The Dark Knight Rises, saying something, you think music is your ally. You adopted the music. I was born in it, molded by it. Thankfully, I didn't hear hip-hop until I was already a man. By nothing. By then, it was nothing to me but shit. Anyway, that's what I think I was thinking. So I had to come up with something really sorry, but really bad for Bane. But look, all kidding aside, I enjoyed the music. But for me, the video kind of ruined it for me a little bit. I thought it would have been okay were it not for the silly masks. And really, I found it sonically, the production was a bit weak here, but it was nothing terrible. Still, I'm going to give the band a thumbs up because I really enjoyed the song. And I think the music is really good. And I think the singer has a great voice. And I think that with the right producer at the helm, I think, producing the music sonically, these guys could do something really, really big. And I really liked it. So, yeah, it's still thumbs up for me. Just didn't like the video. So, this is why I listen to music, not watch videos, at least the first time.
Yeah. I get what you mean. It's funny this because Thamelko, I love you to bits. But yeah, I think the mix is the guitar needs a bit more oomph. It's just not.
There was that's exactly right. It was a bit lacking.
I don't know whose decision that was at the end of the day. I don't know behind the scenes, and I love Thamelko's mixing. The tones are all great. I just think the balance was off. Would love to hear a bit more. The only
one because I felt like I was sort of nitpicking, and I wasn't. I could hear, that I thought, okay, the production on this just needs to be tweaked.
Yeah, the tones are all great. The sonics are wonderful. It's just a matter of getting the right volume in the right places for me. So yeah, I just thought it was an interesting decision. I don't know whose it was, but it was an interesting decision to hear the guitar back that far under the keys element of this. So it was a bit of an interesting one. But for me, I actually didn't mind the video. I liked how you had the dancer and the lead singer sort of crossing over the age barrier between each other, which is a cool little thing. It's a slower sort of building kind of a song, which is nice. Bit of drama in there too, which I thought was cool. And there's a pretty good lineup all around this band. A lot of the people in this have been in different projects. We've got Psy Nation and Cults of Ice as two individuals involved in this one for starters. But it's dark and brooding. I think the vocals are easily the highlight of this. But
and
I love the vocals. I think they're fantastic. But when it does kick into gear, when it does get a bit more intense and aggressive, it does really have that nice contrasting punch to it, which is cool. It helps the song along nicely. I'm very curious about what this is going to lead into with regard to the album. There's 2 singles out now, including this one. It's just really an interesting sort of mix. There's some nice harmony in this one to build things along, not only with her like co-vocaling herself, but there's also a male vocal in there as well, which is nicely done. And while it's not the heaviest thing out there at all kind of thing, it's got some nice punch to it in more ways than one, which is cool. And it's a really dramatic little track that I actually quite enjoyed. If you like it a bit darker, wanted to check it out for sure. I'm just curious as to what the album's going to bring. I'm definitely going to check it out because this is a very cool song for mine. But yeah, I just was a bit curious about that one as well, Jeff. But no, I do like the song overall.
I like it too. Do you know, just curiosity's sake, the mask thing, is that what they look like all the time, or is that just a video?
Yeah, because Nikki did a video introduction thing with the singer and Josh, the guitarist, I believe, and she didn't have the mask, and the guitarist did have the mask on, so it was all. So it's one of those things that's obviously a hallmark they're going for. We'll see how it lands. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it takes people time to get adjusted to it as well, because you don't see a lot of it anymore either. So we'll just.
Bands need gimmicks. It's always that. I get that. Like Sleep Token, and they do the whole anonymous bullshit. Yeah, but it works because it gets people talking. That's always a good thing. Yeah.
It's got us talking already, so there we go. Quickly here, comments. Basher says, very much looking forward to this year's hard rock journey. Already a lot of new music, especially from Saxon and Priest. That is going to be a big year for these two bands. To name a couple. Overwhelmed with all the upcoming tours. That is a big thing as well. Vinny says it'd sound very different if the melodic piece were in the middle. That's actually an interesting way to put it, Vinny. That would be very interesting. And Nicole says, Basher, new Saxon is sounding fantastic, and a lot of people are very impressed with the new Saxon stuff coming up. Alrighty, moving on. We're going to go to the next song now, which is in the comments in the description box, as always. So, Dave, this is your pick of the week with Santa Cruz, Modern Day Madman. It was chosen by Dave, assigned to me. It's the latest single from this band that, Dave, am I fair in saying that you've got kind of a love-hate relationship with this band now? Is that fair to say?
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed.
So for the record, it's a Finnish/American band these days. But Dave, how did you go with this one? You put it forward. Is it because you loved it or because you hated it? I'm not sure with you anymore.
Yeah. Long-time viewers of this show know I fucking loved this band. Their original lineup and their second and third album were fantastic. Their third album is my album of the decade for the 2010s. Yes. I once said that if Guns N' Roses were playing the MCG and Santa Cruz was playing Hot Hot Love Bar, I would go see Santa Cruz. They were like the torch bearers. So yeah, they were pretty fucking special. And they fucked it up. They really fucked it up. So with each new lineup and each subsequent song that Archie Cruz has released, it's become pretty apparent that as talented and good musician that he is, he was only one piece of that very special puzzle. So everything they've done since has been pretty good, ranging to I'm fucking giving up on this band. Yeah. But I keep coming back for more because everything they do I keep listening to. And I try and forget that abysmal lip syncing concert that they got busted on.
Yeah, that was
just embarrassing. But this would probably be the best thing he has done since the original lineup. It's got the heavy riffs, it's got the cocky attitude, it's got the cool guitar solo, and it's a memorable song. I heard it once, put on a couple of other albums, had lunch, and I think, what was that song? I can remember most of it. Not many songs do that for me these days. There's something cool about this one. I'm curious to see what comes next. But yeah, it's got a good bunch of musicians. I don't think it's the same caliber as the original lineup, but one more chance, mate. You got one more chance. You fucking block me from Facebook again. Fuck you.
Yeah.
They blocked you from Facebook?
Yeah. That happened a while ago.
Yeah, it's a toxic relationship with Archie and me. I made a comment that he was fucking better than that. He should know better when he did the whole lip syncing backing track debacle in LA, and he blocked me.
Are they an American band?
Yeah.
He's Finnish. His new lineup
Finnish.
is American.
Yeah.
The whole original lineup. The original bass player was in Bowden After Midnight.
Mm.
And as soon as I heard that band, obviously it sounds like Children of Bowden, but this new element, definitely the bass players. I'm like, fuck, that's the element that was in Santa Cruz.
Yep.
So exceptionally talented.
Isn't the singer Dino Jalusic?
No,
Archie Cruz.
Archie Cruz.
Oh.
Yeah, you're thinking of something else, Jeff.
I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah.
I don't know what I don't know why I thought of him, but for some reason,
no, it's Archie Cruz. I've been on this little journey with Dave, going through the Santa Cruz stuff, and yeah, very much the early days was the cool stuff, and then they just went on this fucking weird ride. This song, though, it was heavier and much more aggressive than I was expecting. This is
the bite is back.
Got some bite to it. It's like, fuck, it's got like a big swinging set of balls going on about it. It was just, the riff is cool. I love how chunky that riff is. It's really nice. But there's also some cool layering in there. It's got loads of attack in the guitar and the vocals, which is nice on it. I don't think they've come out swinging as hard as this has for a while. I mean, Dave, you follow much more closer than I do, but this feels like the most hard-hitting song they've released in years.
Yeah.
It's to the point where I honestly didn't think they had this in them anymore, if that makes sense. I thought this was a thing of eras gone by. This is probably the best thing they've done since very early days for me.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed it's a return to form, but we don't know. Obviously, there's a once bitten, twice shy aspect to this sort of thing going on, but we'll see. It's not breaking new ground, but it's chunky, it's riffy, it's ballsy, it's cool. I think there's almost an element of sort of the Sinister Urge Rob Zombie era about this one. There are parts of this that remind me of things like that album, that's the riffing and that some of the tonal quality. There's some of that in there too. So if you like the Sinister Urge and Rob Zombie, this might, it's not got the horror stuff, but just the music, the riffing and that sort of attack.
The attitude.
The attitude of it. Yeah, it's got a bit of fun, but there's a lot of
the motherfuckers in there again too, which is cool.
Yeah, that's where that's what surprised me. I was like, fuck, okay, they're actually, they're getting into it a bit, which is, we haven't had that for a while. So I don't know what's put the rocket up them, but hopefully we get more of this, because if they do more of this, could be singing their praises a lot more often than we have in recent times as well. All righty, let's see what the audience have to say about this one. Benjamin's here saying support from New Zealand brothers. Good to see you, buddy. Hopefully you've been keeping well through out there. Michael, good evening. Good to see you as well. Thanks for jumping in. And Vinny's gone, fucking epic tune, Dave. Santa Cruz straight onto rotation here. So there we go. We are getting some love for it, which is nice. That's what we want to see. We want to see things getting some love, but we'll see if that continues on. We've got one more to get through here quickly, which is going to be Jeff's song for the week, which is The End Machine with Silent Winter, chosen by Jeff, assigned to Dave, from the album The Quantum Phase, due March 8, 2024. Now, Jeff, you know the history of this band. It's more than a little bit of a super group, especially with the new vocalist in there. But yeah, give us your background.
Yeah, so The End Machine, obviously. So basically, for those who are aware of this band, this is essentially Dokken without Don Dokken. Okay, so you literally have all the members from Dokken. Well, kind of. You've got Steve Brown on drums, who is the son of Mick Brown, was the original drummer from Dokken, who's retired, and his son is every bit as good as his father was. You got Jeff Pilson on bass, you got George Lynch on guitar, and you got a singer by the name of I wrote this down as a win for Garesh Pradam.
Yep.
And he's good. He's really, really good. And I just like this song. There was just something about it that, like, it didn't sound like Dokken, even though it really, for all rights, it kind of should be. Because you've got, you've got 3/5 of the band or 3/4 of the band there. But it doesn't sound like Dokken. It sounded fresh, and I really liked it. I thought it was catchy and groovy. And Dave was talking about, how a song can get stuck in your head and you go off and listen to something else, and then you come back and you're still remembering that other song. This did that for me as well. Nice. And so, I really liked it. A Silent Winter is the name of the song, but kick-ass, The End Machine. So, check them. I hope people out there like it, because I fucking loved it.
Cool. Dave, I'm going to assume you agree.
Yeah, awesome song. I know Jeff harkens to the Dokken side of things, but I go straight to Garish from Garish and the Chronicles. The guy's fucking amazing. Everything he puts his vocals to will always be great. So, Dokken's cool, but Garish, fuck, that's like the icing on the cake. Fantastic song. I love the slow build in the intro. I like those guitar solos that slowly build up, and then the riff kit in. It's always a cool introduction to the song, and an introduction to a band in that case for me. Interesting lyrics, as Jeff says, a memorable song, and the band certainly knows what they're doing. But yeah, it's definitely a thumbs up. Very cool song.
Nice. What did you guys have either of you watched the video? What did you think of the video and the way it finished?
I liked the video a lot. I thought the video was really quite good. It's well done. The whole song for me just felt fresh. And George Lynch is probably in my top 3 favorite guitar players, living guitar players. So I follow that guy pretty much everything he's done. I think this is way better than Lynch Mob. I like Lynch Mob, but there's just something about this. This sounds, and I know he still does Lynch Mob and he's doing things with that, but this is way better than that, I think. So.
Well, I think Lynch Mob might be wrapping up, if I'm correct.
They may very well be. I think because they're going to be playing. They're actually coming out here. They're playing Glamfest, I think.
Yeah.
So which I would have loved to have gotten tickets just to see that, but unfortunately, no. So.
Well, there we go, folks. So make sure you check it out and let us know your thoughts on any of those ones. And guys going, Jeff, you need a whip and some slaves to go with that hat.
Oh, yeah. I got the slaves. I just don't have the whip. I'm working on that.
Rightio. I'm not sure I want to know too much detail on that.
No, too much detail. That's right. Yeah. Shut up! I told you to shut up. Stay down there. Fuck up. All right. You can talk later.
I have the whip. I just don't have the slaves.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there we go. Dave's got the whip. Jeff's got the slaves. Here we go. You two can have some fun with OnlyFans. Vinny has gone very mature sound from End Machine, unlike us here. Gets the tick from Vinny. Conrad, did you check out any of the songs by any chance, or just something that wasn't?
I haven't gotten to. Sorry,
all good. Just thought I'd ask the question.
I will check out this End Machine.
You will enjoy it. You will enjoy it.
I think End Machine you'll definitely enjoy the most. For me, from knowing your taste, I reckon you'll actually enjoy that one quite a bit. But yeah, all right.
Keen to have a look at that. Yes.
Cool. Moving right along, we're going to move on to our builder collection thing here. This one's going to be a bit faster because we are starting a whole new round, and then as with the weeks going, we'll obviously settle into things as we go through and recap scores and that. But we're trying to definitely, like I was saying before, trying to bring things back into line a little bit this year. But we are going to do another builder collection, which is where we go through and select albums from years and all that sort of stuff. And the last time around we did like from 86 to 95, or was it 76 to 85? I forget now. We did 85.
Yeah, 76 to 85.
Yeah. So we did a weird random one. So I figured we're going to do something different. We're going to start at 1990 and go through to 1999. So we're going to focus on the 90s this time around. And we've got the draft order already sorted out. We're going to go through these things. And if things go to plan, we're going to sort of see. I've opened up the option for people to sort of swap and trade their picks later on down the line. So we'll see if that happens at all. But for now, it's just going to be a straight up start. And so it's kind of fitting that Conrad gets to go first with this one. So, Conrad, which album from 1990 are you taking for the audience to vote on later on in the week?
Okay, I just looked up heavy metal albums from 1990 in Google. Now, what a year!
I know.
It's a big one.
What a year! I mean, oh my God, there's some amazing.
Kicks off with a bang, doesn't it? Yep.
Did you want me to choose something that was? You said less. Well, no, you were after stuff. That
no. There was nothing. I want you to pick whatever you want. There was nothing like that for this.
Right. This was a monster of a year. I mean, just some of these titles. Now you've got "Persistence of Time" by Anthrax. You know, "Painkiller" by Judas Priest, "Cowboys from Hell." You know, "The Razor's Edge" by AC/DC. I mean, it's just Act 3 by Death Angel. You know, it's just the Facelift by Alice in Chains. I mean, it's just an amazing year of rock and metal. But it has to go to Rust in Peace. Rust in Peace.
I figured that would be.
I mean, no surprises. No surprises there for me.
That's where I knew you were rattling off all these other bands and going, I know which one you're going to go with in the end, surely.
Has to be Rust in Peace.
Yeah, no, and fair enough. It's a great pick to have. I get to go second, and so it's a tough one because, like, I adore Alice in Chains, Facelift, all that kind of stuff. I reckon it's fucking stunning. But I'm gonna go a different direction, which might surprise some people. I'm gonna go Pantera, Cowboys from Hell.
Yeah.
as much as I love Alice in Chains, that's an album that is not only a fantastic album, but it's a special album to me because I used to bounce off the walls literally with Shane when we used to live together years ago. We used to literally bounce off the walls to that album. So the old rental property copped a bit of a beating back in the day. But yeah, that album for me is a monster. I love it to bits. Can't get enough of it. So I'm going to go with that one against what my heart might tell me otherwise, but it is an album that is incredibly special to me. So I'm going to take that one off the board, which means, Jeff, you're up next. Which way are you going with this?
Look, I wrote down a bunch of the top things because I'm like, I knew there was only going to be 4 of us tonight. And I'm like, well, I don't have to write. I could just write 4, right? But I had to start to remember because there's so many. 1990, as Conrad said, I mean, it's just out of the year, like the block with like a bang, kaboom. Mm-hmm. It's like a thermonuclear fucking bomb. The albums that have come out in 1990 alone are insane. Yep. And then, of course, we all know 91 and 92. There's some other great years coming up. That's right. So I had to go through and I'm thinking, well, I knew fucking Megadeth would go first round. I knew it. I knew Conrad would go. I saw the order and that it's gone.
Yeah, he's getting the prop out too. There we go.
There we go. Yeah.
Nice.
So you went with Pantera Cowboys. I thought that would go early too. I wrote a little number beside each one that I thought would go in order. Look, it's such a great year.
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
Painkiller.
Painkiller is really good, and I really like it. But there's another album that I actually like more. Wow. And I'm going to take it. Yeah, there's an album that I like more because ultimately, while I love Painkiller as an album, it was a kind of like almost like a rebirth for Priest.
Yeah.
I think the album for me that really sets my panties on fire is it's Queensryche Empire.
Yes.
Nice.
That's what I'm taking.
Cool.
Quality. Yeah. Great record.
I wanted this album to go. Yeah.
Brilliant record.
It's a nice fucking album, that one. All righty. Dave, you've waited long enough. Which way are you going with this?
Well, the 3 that were already picked are on my short list of 4, so I wouldn't pick them, but I'm going with fucking Priest.
Painkiller. Yep. There we go. Great minds think alike, it would seem.
Oh, yeah.
It's on all of our lists. All these albums are on all of our lists, which is cool. I mean, seriously, do we need to introduce these albums anymore? All right, which means it's kind of funny because there's an album mentioned here that was on my short list, and it's Belle's 3rd pick. There we go. Nice one. And so on Belle's behalf, I'm going to call out what she put 3rd on her list because it didn't get down to the 5th one. I told her to give me 5 just to make sure she had enough room. But we're going to go with her 3rd pick, and that's Cherry Pie from Warrant.
I saw that. Yeah.
So that is in there as well. So that is going to make this a really interesting voting collection to go through over the week. So we have Conrad has taken Megadeth Rust in Peace. I've taken Pantera Cowboys from Hell. Jeff has Queensryche Empire. Dave has Judas Priest Painkiller. And Belle has Warrant Cherry Pie. We're going to do a poll on that in the coming days and do the usual thing where we'll get the audience results and come back and do more of the same next week, which will be interesting. But we've got some... What do we got here? So, what do we got here? Michael said, glad someone addressed the hat. I was wondering if I missed something at the start. Just the Undertaker reference there. That's all.
Hey.
Benjamin's gone, do you have a well in your basement and a fucking poodle? There we go. So that's when you were going off your head at the little slaves there. Rowan says, I wouldn't be able to pick between Extreme Porno Graffiti, another one as well, Queensryche Empire and Malmsteen Eclipse. There are a lot of great. 1990 is a monster. There we go. Conrad's joined the hat club as well.
Good.
Work.
Come on, we can all do it.
Yeah, I could if I could find my hat. It's
go for the safari hat. It's my safari.
Yeah, I've got a beat up work hat out here, which is just for the sun and that. Sally's here. Good to see you, Sally. Hopefully you've had a great Christmas and New Year. Hopefully you're keeping well. Andrew says, my favorites from 1990 were Queensryche Empire and Death Angel Act 3. Death Angel's album is a hidden gem, fantastic thrash album. That is a great album. Belle had that on her list as well, referencing from Conrad, so it's got a lot of love for it. Ben says, Cowboys doesn't have a bad track, and that's rare, which is true. And Vinny says, very difficult first vote for the year. Well, we don't like to make it easy, do we? No. We can't make it easy.
Can't make it easy for you.
No, we can't make it easy at all. Alrighty. timestamp everything because now it's time to go over to the guess the song for this week. And Jeff, as always, usually has things in hand for us. So, Jeff, take us through the first guess the song for 2024.
Okay. All right. So this song, I was going, what am I going to pick? And I wanted to pick something that was, I'll just preface by saying, everyone should know this band. I'm not going to pick something obscure because then that would be fucking, where's the fun in that, right? So, but I also wanted to pick a song. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of clue. I wanted to pick a song that the title of the song is not mentioned anywhere in the fucking lyrics. So good.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Nice.
Okay.
You think you got me? Oh, okay. So put on your thinking hat.
Remember, you get one guess only, folks. Once you have a guess, it's over, and then we'll see if the audience get it and who gets it first, kind of thing. So we'll see how we go. But I've got the timestamp ready to go. So, Jeff, without any further ado, one guess each, guys. But over to you.
All right. It was an April morning when they told us we should go. As I turned to you, you smiled at me. How could we say no? Oh, the fun to have, to live the dreams we always had. Oh, the songs to sing. But when we last returned again, slipping off a glancing kiss to those who claim they know, below the streets that steam and
Achilles'
hiss.
Last Stand, Led Zeppelin.
Yeah. You cunt! You got it.
Yeah, I knew it. Well done, Dave.
Good job. Good job.
Dave got it at 8:49. Awesome. Well done, man.
I fucking love that song.
Oh, yeah, it's such a great song. And I was like racking my brains trying to find something that was going to challenge.
Right from the opening line, I had it as soon as you said the opening line.
I knew it. I just couldn't pull it together. And it's like, you fucking beat me to it. As soon as the opening line, I'm like, I know that song. Song.
Isn't that a great song, though?
That was fucking guitar riff.
Yeah. Such a good song. Such a good song. All right, let's see if anyone in the comments got it. No. We beat everyone. Rowan said, worth mentioning Firehouse's debut in 1992. That was a quarter. Yes, very true. And Michael says, I'm going to go Razor's Edge, Painkiller, almost as good. Yeah, AC/DC's Razor's Edge is a fucking brilliant album. It'll keep going on here. Michael says, Empire for me falls short compared to Operation Mindcrime and Promised Land, and even now in the
Here in the Frontier.
Yeah, Here in the Frontier, yeah. Which is good. Good, but not as great. Yeah. So there we go. All right. Well, we'll see what happens in the vote as it comes along over the coming days. So stick around. Keep following us on the socials to keep up to date with all that sort of stuff. All right. We're getting right through things now. We're going to go through into round one of King of the Riff. That was nicely done, Dave. You've really kept us on point timeline-wise. So there you go.
I just want to ask one question.
Might be the shortest stream out.
Yeah, maybe.
Was my clues too much? Did I give too much away?
I don't think so. No,
okay.
I thought the clues were good. Actually, it set the tone nicely. It's just that you picked a song that Dave knows better than I do. So there you go.
I was reading it, and I was looking. I could see Dave moving his hand. I'm like, what the fuck, Yeah.
He was singing. Yeah.
Have you heard the Dream Theater version?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you said a song that doesn't have the title in the song,
where do you think it was going?
I was Smells Like Teen Spirit, Nirvana. And I thought that's too obvious. Too obvious.
That's a good one, though.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have taken this long to guess it, though.
That would have got it.
That would have done it pretty quick.
That would have done it pretty quick.
Yeah. You think about that one. It's pretty iconic, though. All righty. We should do a whole thing where we could start off, like, for those of us that we should actually investigate this, work out a way to play a riff and see if we can guess that from a riff, like, because a few of us can play instruments and that, so maybe we should increment.
Yeah, me and Jeff could do that easily.
Yeah.
Tom, do you play anything?
You could just
you could air drum.
Just hum something.
I could air drum. I could sing.
Yeah. Sing, yeah. I haven't got my guitars with me. My guitars are in Melbourne still. So
I'm actually off to a metal karaoke night tonight. So
nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very cool.
Start practicing and off you go. We'll get the guitarist to guitar, and then Conrad, you and I can poison everyone's hearing with our singing. So there we'll go from there. What do we got here? Basher says, well done, Dave. Achilles' Last Stand, one of my favorite tracks of all time. So there we go. Edge Crusher, Steelheart, or Damn Yankees for me.
Damn Yankees.
Damn Yankees. Good call out right from Michael. Yeah, so there we go. 1990 is a monster year, folks. Monster year. Alrighty. Maybe we should do a TV thing on that, Dave. I reckon coming up for a 2-hour special. 1990 could be a year we could do.
Yeah, cool.
2 hours uncomfortably. Alrighty. So King of the Riff, Stoner Rock or Metal Edition. We're going to do the first round of that, which sees the 10th seed going up against the 7th seed in this edition, which in this case for round 1 is the Sword Warp Riders going up against Nola from Down. As always, I'm just going to copy and paste some links into the comments here for a second. So there we go. But they're in the description box for those tuning in later on. And we do appreciate your time whenever you do take the time to do this one. But yeah, this is the same old. We go through and we give our thoughts on which album out of these two we're picking and why. It's going to be interesting because I have Belle's proxy as well, so I know which way, or not a proxy, she actually told me which way she's going to go, so I know which way she wants to go with this one in case we should need it. Now, I'll get to the audience vote later on, but that was definitely a landslide, so it's going to be curious to see if we match that or if we go in a different direction. But first off, who gets to go first? Randomizer out. I get to go first, which is kind of interesting. Alrighty. Now, I know one of these albums a lot better than the other one, but this is a tantalizing sort of a battle for me. There's no doubt that Down probably have the name recognition side of things for them, or going for them, but the Sword aren't slouches there either. There's some good members in that band too. It's also worth noting that Warp Riders is something of a concept album, which is a direct contrast to what's happening with Nola as well. I love the groove in Warp Riders. There's some nice use of harmony, especially in the vocals. A great space in the composition. It flows really well too. I know it's a bit of a, it's not a strict story per se, but it's like the way the whole thing flows from beginning to end.
There'll be at least 10 years between these records, though.
Yeah, 15 I think it is.
15.
Yeah,
at least
Warp Riders was 2010. Nola was 95. Yeah. So there you go, 15 years.
Yeah.
So it's a big gap there. There's some killer riffs. I love the ballad or the use of melody in there as well. It's much more of a rock album, but there's still some good punch in there too. It's just got a big feel about it. It's one of those ones where, you know, between the story and the music, it's quite grand in its overall scope. I want to go digging more into this band because they come highly recommended. Obviously, they made it into the top 10. A couple of their albums came close, but this one was the one that made it in. So they're a very popular band in this category. And for my first sort of real deep dive onto one of their albums, I was like, okay, cool. I've checked out some of their stuff before, but this is the first time I've really, really seriously gone, okay, what am I listening to here? And yeah, I just really did enjoy it. This isn't an area of the musical world that I'm traditionally drawn to. Dave will know this as well as anyone else. This isn't my strength per se, but I wanted to explore this one and see how we went with it. But yeah, it's got a good old school element to it as well. Tempo and groove does all that sort of stuff. You can't help but sort of bop along the way to this one. But there is still some thrashy moments in this one too, going back to their, you know, what would be the earlier days of their stuff too. So this, when they want to kick it up a gear, they can go that heavier side of things pretty well. But when you talk about heavier stuff, then you talk about Nola, and that is definitely by far and away the heavier out of these 2 albums. So this is going to come down a lot to taste, I think, in a lot of respects, more so because there is a definite style difference in approach here. One is much more sort of metal and heavy, where the other one was sort of more classic rock based kind of a thing. It's a powerhouse sort of a super group. Sorry,
I didn't mean to interrupt here. But the thing with the stoner rock thing is when it started in the early 90s, it wasn't as fast as what the Sword has laid down.
Yeah.
So there wasn't that fast. So when I think stoner rock, it's a lot of it's an earlier period. So it's like early 90s, and it was slower. It wasn't as fast. So yeah, those faster elements weren't there.
I get that, but yeah, no, that's all good. But as with all these ones, the audience was the polling, and that's where the albums we got to from that one. So we're just putting these albums as they stand.
I'll blame the bloody audience then.
Yes, you can. I didn't pick these ones. The audience chose them for us. So there you go.
Clueless bloody
always
audience.
Goes to the audience, man. Always go to the audience. It's one less thing for me to think about. I didn't choose them. The audience. It's the top 10 from the audience polling. But yeah, I was saying, Nola is by far the heavier of the 2 albums. But there's some great light and shade across it. I like the way that sort of Pepper's guitar work crosses over with Anselmo's vocals on that one. I think it's a really cool sort of 1-2 punch. And having seen them together perform live as well, it all makes a lot of sense if you've seen them perform live. And then you like, I saw Corrosion support Pantera in Melbourne. It was a fucking fantastic gig, and you could just see how it worked and the chemistry was there. Hearing them put this music out is, obviously a very fitting way to do things. Great riffs, great songs all over from beginning to end. I think it's less musical overall than the Sword is in a lot of respects, but it makes up for that side of things, all the punch and the grit that you want. You look at what Phil Anselmo was doing in album-wise with Pantera before and after this album came out, and it all sort of, makes sense how heavy he's going with this one. But for all the heaviness I'm talking about, they still use groove well. Both these albums have fantastic groove. When they wanted to swing on this one, they nailed it. And I enjoy how both albums sort of tied in instrumental touches as well. They both paid clear tribute to Sabbath, which is a lot of people, view that, Master of Reality is where this all sort of started. But the remarkable thing about this album for me is just how well Stone the Crow still holds up after all these years. I reckon it's arguably the single best song across both of these albums. It was fantastic when it came out. It's still fantastic today. I think it's a ripping song. It's just one of those things between the guitar work and the vocal. You get everything you want. I did like Anselmo's approach to the vocals there a lot. He's still doing the melody side of things, which, as Pantera moved on and went heavier and heavier, but, in this time and place, he was still using melody well. Nola is a great collection of songs, really interesting contrast against the concept side of Warp Riders here. Both have great performances. The mixing is perfect for their respective styles and times as well. If anything, it's a quirky thing for me how Nola kind of finishes the stronger out of the two. And that really sort of convolutes things for me because on my first pass, I'd settled on my winner pretty quickly. My second pass really sort of tightened things right up where I couldn't pick a winner. My third pass, I settled in again to where I wanted to be. So it took us first to go through both albums and go, okay, which way am I going to land here? But I'm not going to fuck around anymore. I love both albums to bits, but I'm going to go with the sword. I'm going to go with the upset here for mine. It's just, I think overall, as far as albums go, it's a bit more rounded, a bit smoother to take in. I think because it's a concept album, it helps it along a bit. Nola is a great collection of songs, but it does feel like a blend of Pantera and Corrosion of Conformity, which I love. However, the sword kind of made me feel like I was getting something fresh as opposed to merging the two previous bands. Like I said, both great albums. I'm not going to fault them, but you have to pick a winner. So I'm picking a winner for me, and my choice is the sword. Warp Riders. Let's see how that goes down. And because I'm going with the upset already. Dave, which way did you go?
Yeah, I don't know much about stoner rock at all. I do know that what did the stoner rock fans say when he ran out of drugs? Well, this is shitty music.
Wow.
Yeah, the list that you polled, I recognize some band names. I've heard 2 albums from the entire list. So this is all new territory for me. It probably means I won't crap on very long because I don't have much history or emotional attachment to either of these albums. But hearing both of these albums for the first time, they were pretty good. I enjoyed both of them, actually. The sword, I was actually surprised that there were guitar solos in there. I was expecting a whole bunch of riffs with a desperate need for solos, and they were some solos. So I was happy it wasn't just a fucking riff fest. Mm-hmm. They were really well done, too. They came in and out seamlessly from the riff, very melodic in places, so that was a cool listen. Down was a lot heavier, very groove based, nice melodic lines that broke up the riffs, which was very cool, and Phil sounds fucking amazing. I've happily listened to both these albums again, but ultimately I just flipped the coin. Down. Yeah.
Wow, cool, nice. But this is the thing, Dave, for you and I in particular, this is going to be a bit of a challenging one for us, which I don't mind taking on because we haven't done a lot in space over all the years we've been doing it. So I'm looking forward to seeing how you and I sort of go with it, which will be cool to find out. Alrighty, Conrad. Yeah, it is. That's the tricky thing for us both. We're not going in with sort of preconceived ideals here. But Conrad, your call.
I'm a massive stoner rock fan. Huge. I remember.
I figured you'd like this one.
When it started, I was there when it happened and when it all began, and I loved it. And please tell me that Sky Valley is on this list because I'll be furious.
Yeah, so, I can tell you it's in there. Don't worry.
Thank God for that, because that's Anyway, look, out of these two, I mean, I hate Phil Anselmo as a human being, but that doesn't mean that I can judge it on that. You can't judge it on the fact that the human being is a ghastly human being, and therefore that puts you off.
Yep.
He does put me off.
Yeah, and he's got some things to answer for in the world.
It's not that business. I mean, that didn't. That was ghastly. But I mean, I've met him in real life, and he's a complete fucking.
Oh, okay.
Prick.
Well,
that'll prick. Yeah, he's a total ass. And I saw Pantera about 4 times live, and they were brilliant. But he just was a complete drunken fucktard on stage and ruined it. And I just wanted to jump up and belt him. So that being said, that kind of puts me off down a bit, and it taints it. But though it's a good record. not going to deny it. The songs are good.
Mm.
Which way am I going on this? A different time period, I think, is the issue, and I have to measure it against the time.
Yeah.
So I probably will lean on down on this, and the songs are a bit more catchy, and I can sing along to them, despite wanting to punch fucking Phil Anselmo's lights in.
Good luck. He used to be a boxer, so there you go.
Dick.
Oh, there you go. There's some growth though. You're going against your gut and going with the album, which is the cool.
I have to go with the album as opposed to and I like the Sword. I love the Sword. I've seen them live as well. They're killer. They're brilliant.
Cool. Awesome. Of course.
I saw Down with I did see Down with Heaven and Hell.
Okay, cool.
Oh wow.
With Heaven and Hell, they supported Heaven and Hell. Yeah, it's the only time they came to Australia. Yeah, both bands. Both bands came in. They were good, I have to admit. And he had his shit together. He wasn't a complete fucking idiot then. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway.
Well, there we go. So it's 1v2.
Okay.
Because there's only been 3 of us through so far. So, Jeff, which way are you going?
Sorry, who did Dave
I went the Sword.
Yes.
You and Dave went with Down. So
went Down. Okay.
So this is where we're at. So, Jeff, the floor is yours.
Okay. So, look, obviously, when I put these albums on to give them a listen, I really wasn't sure what I was going to get because I had heard, obviously, of both of these bands, and especially Down, given its former associations, but never listened to either one of them. Okay. So I had no idea what to expect from either. So I decided to start with Down, Nola. Which I found out actually stands for New Orleans, Louisiana.
Yeah.
Okay, which is bizarre, but yeah. So anyway, who knew that? I didn't. So I guess I'm a dumb shit. But anyway.
This is the fun part.
Yeah. So you learn something, right? So anyway, as I said, band was a Down that was on my radar. But aside from maybe hearing a song or two from the catalog over their years, I had never listened to this album at all. So
just for the record, when Stone the Crow dropped, that was a fucking monster. Like that just went off. Just so you know.
I can imagine because what a song. I absolutely look, listening to this really for the first time. What greeted my ears was an interesting and familiar sound, despite never having heard it before. And I immediately felt comfortable. It had that feeling of having heard it, but obviously because of the familiarity of Anselmo on vocals and the riffs that were coming out. There was a huge Sabbath influence there, and it was just dripping from this album. And how can that ever be really a bad thing? Unless you're a Journey cover band and if you sound like Sabbath, then you suck. But hey, that's not the case here. Look, I really like the album. I couldn't fault any of it and immediately wanted to go back and listen to it again. But I had to control my urge because I had another album to get to. Yeah. So my standout tracks on this were Lifer, Pillars of Eternity, Underneath Everything, Eyes of the South, Jail, what a song, Losing All, Stone the Crow, of course. And I even like that Pray for the Locust. What an amazingly atmospheric song with no vocals that is. That's just unbelievable. It was just so atmospheric.
Very Planet Caravan like.
Yes, exactly. And I was going to mention that. Bury Me in Smoke. Wow. Look, I might as well mention the entire album because every song on this was a standout. There was so many great songs. And yeah, you're right about the Planet Caravan thing. And that got me thinking about, when you go back to Pantera, was it that it was Anselmo was the guy who was bringing the Sabbath stuff to Pantera and not the Abbott brothers? I don't know. But I tend to think that because the way this album sounds, that might have been the case.
Maybe.
So I didn't expect the album to be this good. And really, I'm pissed off with myself because it only took me 29 years for me to fucking hear it and wake up. So that sucks, right? Coming out in 95. Look, I don't even really know. I haven't actually had a look at what all the other albums are that are in this stoner thing. And I suppose that for me, that keeps it interesting. But I think from having heard this album, A lot of those other albums have a lot of catching up to do. I think this is an amazing album. So I'm giving this 2 big thumbs up. So now when I go on to the other album that I had to listen to for my review, The Sword Warp Riders, right off the bat, the album grabs, doesn't let go. So Down has some serious competition right out of the blocks. Yeah. Who the fuck are these guys, and why have I not listened to them before? So that's 2 in a row. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm an idiot. We can all agree that, and we already knew that. Okay. So look, it occurred to me while listening to these 2 albums that while I had always enjoyed stoner rock, I think I had a different concept of what it was in my head, and I did not think it was music like this. My mind, when I think of stoner rock, immediately goes to bands like Monster Magnet, Sleep, Caius, Corrosion of Conformity mentioned earlier, Mastodon, even like that, bands like that. And of course, I never really thought of Sabbath as a stoner rock band. That I get that, the Master Reality album, maybe that's where they draw, but you could, sure. But really listening to these 2 albums really woke me up that I was missing out on a lot of good music. And I thought actually the singer from The Sword, because there's another band called Sword. Yeah. The Sword, he really reminded me of a singer from another band, another stoner rock band called Fireball Ministry, which is one of my favorite bands. And if you listen to that and then listen to these guys, like I had to look it up. I thought it was the same guy. I thought maybe this is, that's how close.
You turned me on to Fireball Ministry, actually. I listened to them after you recommended them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a song from them called King. Fuck, what a song. But anyway, look, standout tracks on this album were all of them. I enjoyed every single song on here. But if I was to have one criticism, and it's a tiny one, I think there's a couple tracks on here that have that kind of samey vibe going on. In other words, they kind of sound similar to the other songs. But that's not necessarily a bad thing when you've got songs like this that all of them kick ass. So 2 big thumbs up. Big thumbs up. Yeah. Yep. So obviously I had a dilemma. Which one to pick, because there's not much here to fault. And knowing that one of these bands is going to go no further tonight is kind of painful. And I honestly couldn't choose. And it's funny, Dave mentioned he flipped a coin, because I wrote, should I just flip a coin? Yeah, but look, no beating around the bush for me. I'm just going to go for it. Nola wins because of what Anselmo brings to the table, the pedigree, okay? It's as simple as that. And I felt really bad that I had to edge out Sword in such a cheap way, really.
You got to find a way.
And deserved more. And I felt that if they were up against any other band in lineup, they probably would have beaten it. It was that good. And that kind of made me feel a little bit better. Yep. Not really. No, okay, I'll shut up. So yeah, it's down Nola for me.
Cool. No, that's all right. So and
three to
it's a done deal. That means it's 3 is the winning number anyway. But it's funny because I was on an island all alone, sitting there going, "Oh man, it's just me and the Sword." But Belle sent through her vote, and it was actually for the Sword as well. They don't have any notes or anything. She did send through a thing there. So I was sitting there wondering how it was going to go, because I knew Jeff had the final vote.
I'm more familiar with the Age of Winters album, the album before, and I like that record. I really like that record. Yeah, it's good. I actually used to play a couple of tracks off that in a club, like in bars. We played a couple of tracks off that. It went down well.
Nice. That's always good too. But yeah, so I wasn't entirely alone, but no, it is that way, and that means that the Sword are now knocked out. Down move on, which ties in with the way the audience voted as well, much more overwhelmingly than us. We did have, it was like 1 vote for the Sword, and I'm not even sure it was a completely serious vote. There was a bit of a tongue-in-cheek element about the comments, because it was like, I vote for the Sword because it's more sharper. So I was like, okay, well, which way are we going here? That was the comment. But it was 1 vote to a bunch of other ones, and Down was a landslide winner in that one too. So we haven't split off yet. Remember how last King of the Riff series had that whole splitting off? We had different rounds for different weeks and that. So no splitting off yet. We are on track with the audience. We're in agreement. We have Down going through to the next round, which means it's going to be interesting, because next week it is, speaking of Down, Corrosion of Conformity Deliverance going up against Queens of the Stone Age Rated R. those are the 2 albums for next week's battle as well. So I'll update the playlist accordingly, and everyone knows what to do there. But let's see what the audience have to say about this one for now. Michael says, had to go down. Both great albums, but vocals clinched it for me. So there we go. Bash is a couple of albums in 1990 not mentioned are Extreme with Porno Graffiti and In Excess X. Yeah, Porno Graffiti got mentioned earlier on in the comments, but yeah, you're right. Jolie's here. Hi all. Hope all is great. Good to see you. And she's also gone, love your t-shirt, Dave. It rocks. So there, show us off, Dave. 69 eyes, of course. So good to see you, Jolie. Hopefully you've had a great break as well. Michael says, yep, Jolly Dave gets best t-shirt tonight, but don't ask him to do stand-up. Don't ask him to stand up. He may not be wearing pants. We'll say
I just saw them a couple of months ago. They were very good.
Yes. Dave is jealous as fuck. Dave is jealous. Vinny says, when it comes to Stone Rock, I'm a blind man in an orgy, just trying to feel my way around. So there you go. Okay. There's Vinny trying to go through things there. Michael says, I will give the list for everyone here behind the scenes. Michael says, a favorite Stone Rock band from New South Wales for me is the band Tumbleweed. One song that grabbed me at a young age was the song Sundial. I haven't listened to the Sword, but I've listened to Down many years ago from memory. It was a great album. So there we go. Down is one of those ones that I'll stay with you. Another Australian band that made it close but didn't quite get in was Dr. Colossus. They were close but didn't quite get in there as well. So they're a very cool, fun band as well, which is good to see some Aussies getting some love in this context as well. Like I was saying, the next week it is Corrosion of Conformity versus Queens of the Stone Age. That'll be a battle next week. On top of that, we've got our Sunday session coming up. Dave and Jeff, for that matter as well, we're going to be going through the first 2 Judas Priest albums. We're going to start our Judas Priest journey. We're going to film some more TV stuff, which is all to do with Stone Rock, actually. We're going to do reviews of Cassidy Paris's debut album, New Sensation. We're going to do South of Salem, Death of the Party. Neil Morse with The Restoration Part 2. Magnum, Here Comes the Rain. We're going to go back in time to Wrathchild America, Climbing the Walls, and then, like I was saying before, Rock-a-Roller and Sad Wings of Destiny from Judas Priest. We'll be going through those ones on the Sunday sessions for our Patreon people. Otherwise, it'll all be released in due course as we get through filming it. But that's about it. Next week is that battle, and we'll have songs of the week and all the usual stuff, and we'll do 1991 for the records, all that kind of stuff too. So we have a lot to get through. As always, another guess the song. I'll randomly draw out which one of us gets to do that one next week, and keep everyone up to date behind the scenes. But yeah, it's a bit of fun. We actually did things very quickly tonight, which I'm quite impressed. We've done well. We have done very, very well. Now, yeah, we have a lot to get through as always. There's a lot more going on, so make sure you keep following us, subscribe, all the usual stuff. If you like what we do, then get involved. Check out our Patreon page too if you've missed it. We've got a lot of plans for this year. We want to do more interviews. We've got ideas for more shows we can do as well. So that just anything and everything you can do in that regard, no matter how small, is going to help us do a lot more here behind the scenes, which will in turn help things grow. Which I'm going to also get some merch hopefully sorted out soon. I'll get the laser fired up, and I'm going to get some new equipment for T-shirts and that as well. So hopefully I'll be able to start getting some things moving in that regard too. I can't promise a timeline on that, but that's my plan for this year too. Heaps going on, so make sure you just keep following, get involved in the comments, get involved in the polling that we do every week. It's going to be a lot of fun to do these ones and get back into the swing of things. So I enjoyed getting back into it tonight. It's been a lot of fun. Hopefully everyone out there has as well. But before we get out of here, let's go and do the bin as usual. So, Dave, what have you got for the bin for the first time in 2024?
Weather was pretty shitty between Christmas and New Year, so that can go in the bin.
Fair enough. It was. I'm not going to deny that at all. It was shitty for me as well because of the storm that took out our fucking home base. Yeah, but we had cyclones in. All right, Jeff.
Wow.
What have you got in the bin?
I thought about this today, and I'm thinking, I don't really have anything that, okay, other than the usual gripes of, there should be a law for people who own mobile phones that don't know how to fucking use them. I don't know how to open up text messages. Well, then why the fuck? Like, seriously?
Yeah.
Okay, you got a car. Did you have to take a license for that? Yeah. Or you had to have a test. Well, this is a fucking mobile phone. It's not that fucking hard. You know how to open up a fucking text message. So that's my gripe. And I get that on a daily fucking basis. Wow. So it's not like a one-off. Yeah. I get that on a daily basis. So anyway, that's my gripe. And there should be a law. There should be a public service announcement by the Australian government. Basically says, are you over the age of 50? Well, this is how you work a mobile phone. First, you click this button and you learn how to swipe on it. No, I mean, it's fucking ridiculous. Fucking pisses me off.
Wow.
Anyway,
it wouldn't go well.
Yeah. First world problems, right? So I don't really have anything in the bin, so that's just going to go in as a proxy.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, Conrad, what have you got for us?
Oh, caught off guard. Sorry. I don't really
no, that's all right.
Think of the bin this week.
That's all right.
Fuck. I can think of maybe lots of things, but not off the top of my head. You go first. Right. And then you go first, and I'll come back to me, and hopefully I'll have something like that.
Well, we'll see what happens. Yeah. My bin this week is, it's going to sound really mean. It's not meant to be as mean as it's going to sound, but it's going to sound mean. Entitled old fuckwits. There's this thing now. I'm all for respecting the elders and the elderly in particular, and all that sort of. I am all for it. But there's that, and then there's them taking the piss. Now, a lot of the work I do is involving delivery work, and so I have to go and get stock and all this kind of stuff. And when you're waiting your turn and all this kind of stuff, and they just fucking push in and do whatever and expect you to get out of the way. They even expect employees at the places I go to get out of the way as well. It's like, what is wrong with you? You can't drive your cars in town. You can't drive your cars in the car park. You can't push a trolley around the fucking supermarket. You can't, and you just expect everyone to get out of the way for you. And it's like, just have a little bit.
This will be you one day.
I know. And when it's me, someone tell me that I'm a fuckwit too. Like, I would actually appreciate that being done, because just a little bit of social and spatial awareness, both of those things would go a long, long, long way. I know I'll be in the bin another fucking 30 years from now, and that's fine. But just for now, fuck, it's annoying. And it's been doing my head in particular over the last week. Like today in particular, driving around town, it's like it was just like Pension Central. It's like, what the fuck? It was painful. Painful. Makes my day go a lot harder than it needs to. But anyway, like I said, it's not meant to be that mean. It's not everyone and all that kind of stuff, but it's just there are some just sit there and go, wow. That whole just generation just didn't land right with you. But all right, anyway, that's me. Conrad, have you had time? Is that enough time for you to think of something?
You've triggered me to go the opposite way.
Okay, young people. Shitty
parenting. Shitty parenting. I have a mate of whom is not watching. God.
That's a good thing.
Who is not? He's not disciplining his kid. His kid's 6 years old, and this kid has his father wrapped around his little finger. And I used to live with him, and I wanted to put this kid through a wall.
Wow.
I just wanted to throttle this child. I've never wanted to throttle a child so much in all my life. This kid, wretched, horrible.
Rules and boundaries are a thing. They definitely are a thing.
I will say this. This child is a living, breathing, walking advert for contraception.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Oh, wow.
You better hold it
there you go.
Yeah.
So, just ghastly. He should be put on, face should be put on, box of condoms. Do you want one of these?
Cigarette
ad.
If you don't use these, then this will happen.
Oh, shit.
No, this kid is just ghastly child. But it's not the kid's fault. It's not the kid's fault.
No, that's it. It's the parenting.
His dad not being firm enough with him, and I've told him many times, I said, you got to be firm with him. And he's not. And this kid has him wrapped around his little finger, and this kid knows it. He's managed to work that out at 6 years old,
Yeah, no, it doesn't take him long.
So it's frustrating to watch and be a part of. And his girlfriend feels the same way as I do as well.
Yeah.
So we're trying.
Well, fingers crossed. Yeah.
So shitty parenting.
Yep.
Yes. That can go in the bin.
Yep. No, and fair point. Well played. All right. Let's see what the audience have here before we get out of here for the night. Michael says, awesome selections coming up. Really enjoyed the first listen of these. Needs much deeper listen. So there we go. Rowan goes, rubbish in the bin. That's kind of fitting, actually. So there we go. Michael says, I'm over 50, so Jeff, so fuck off, basically.
Well, you can type. He types on the screen.
Yeah, he types. He's doing a comment on YouTube, so it's all right. Vinny says, the cost of everything lately is by default my top bin. $45 a kilo of lamb over at Christmas, whereas in New Zealand they pay $38 per hour. Yeah, it's a bit... wild at the moment. Funny. But in general, in seriousness, hopefully the tax breaks that are going to come through soon will help some of us. I don't know if you're up to speed with that, Dave, but hopefully that'll help everything out as well. There's some tax cuts coming. Michael says, being old is worthwhile, I think. And then Nicole says it's Queensland. I know, but wow, have I found a special pocket of Queensland? Worthwhile. There we go. Being old is worthwhile. Well, not everyone gets to be old. So there we go. We're going to take that while we can. Andrew says, just curious to know if any of you guys heard about the sleep token controversy and leaked birth certificates and home addresses. Yes, I did hear about that. That is a topic that has been kicking around in my head for the last little bit. I do want to do something around that, just not today. But yeah, I think that those cretins that did that sort of shit can absolutely go in the fucking bin. I don't care how much you love a band or hate a band. There's no need to release people's addresses and birth certificates. And what the fuck is wrong with you for doing it? I think the community in general should turn on those people, not endorse those people as a wider rule. But don't want to make this a whole thing. But yeah, no, we're all aware of it.
Absolutely right.
We are aware of it, and I think I can speak on behalf of all of us. I think we all think it's pretty deplorable behavior to do things like that. There's one thing to have a public life. There's another thing to have all your details released publicly. That's different. It's not. No one's entitled to do that. So there we go. Hopefully that answers your question there, Andrew, briefly. That was there. But we are going to do something on that hopefully in the near future as well, if everything goes to plan. It's one of those newer things I was talking about doing behind the scenes. But that'll do us. Like Dave said, probably our fastest stream ever. I don't think we've ever done one this
speed
quick
round.
Yeah. Speed round. Yeah, we'll see what happens next week. But we are just sort of locking things down a bit this year. We don't want to go 4 hours long. We know that it's just silly to do that. We can't do it. Just got to keep it on point and keep moving through. But thank you everyone for your company. Hopefully you've all enjoyed the show. Make sure you give us your thoughts, whether you're watching live or you tune in later on, whenever you do so. We're going to cut this up and release it all as well. We're also got a new YouTube channel coming as well. We're going to put all of our long form content on that one and put the short form content on the main channel. So that is a thing that's going to happen over the time. I don't know when exactly, but it's just something that I want to do behind the scenes here to make it a bit easier to find everything. Bash says, good night all. Have a wonderful Australia Day. Yes, out there, everyone, enjoy your long weekend. Whatever you decide to do with it. I'm not going to get involved in the politics of the day, but whatever you do with the long weekend, enjoy it. Have fun with it. And we'll see you all again very soon. Andrew's gone. Good night. See you all next week. Thank you, everyone, for jumping in. Had a few people coming in and out tonight, which is great. Even some that haven't left comments, which is fine. Nicole says, thanks, guys. See you next week. You're most welcome. Thank you for joining us as well. But for now, on behalf of Dave beside me there, on behalf of Conrad below me, and behalf of Jeff on the other side of the corners over there, thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll see you all again, same time and place next week. Until then, you know what to do, folks. As always,
drink up.
Rock on.
Rock on.
That's it, folks. Thank you again. We'll see you very, very soon. That is a wrap. Adios.